week before that, I brought you these sources of different philosophers and Gentiles and the different people that have rather if they're standing for Israel or against Israel, but they had a unique perspective and opinion about Israel. Okay, so we quoted from Hitler, from Nietzsche, from Mark Twain, from different Russian philosophers, and and all these opinions that these people had mentioned were all suggesting that Am Yisrael is a special phenomena that cannot be explained through natural causes, and stating that Am Yisrael are exception, are a phenomena that cannot be described through natural causes, through the rules of nature.
Anti-Semitism. Nor can anti-Semitism be described. People try to describe like the rationale for anti-Semitism. It's because it's written in Psukim that Hashem said the nations. That's why there's anti-Semitism, not because any.
Right, but we went through this last week, and so you missed it. But because Hitler, with pure wickedness, was stating that the battle on domination of the world is only against between the German camp and the Jewish camp. You were here. Okay, so yeah, so that's maybe one. There are a few more sources that we can go through. It doesn't matter, but I think we get the point. Maybe one last thing that now reminds me of something else. In the U.S. Army, they have once in a while, maybe every year, I don't know exactly, this special program for all from different armies from all over the world come to study different tactics and strategies. I guess it's maybe by the Navy or by the Marines. I don't exactly remember, but bottom line is that officers from from the different armies from all over the world come and together study strategies and tactics, and also try to learn lessons from wars and history. And so they give all these different examples, and especially in World War II, but also from more ancient wars. So also there are representatives from the IDF, obviously. In one of these courses, one of the representatives, not from Israel but from a different country, was asking the one who's giving the lecture there from the U.S. Army, why, from all the examples and demonstrations that you gave from all different wars in history, you never gave an example from Israel. Okay? And his answer was simple. And he said, Israel is exception. Israel is an exception. Their wars are an exception. And we cannot study from them any lesson because they're beyond nature. They're above the natural rules. Yeah. So that was just an additional point to what we just discussed last time. You have a book? Yeah, maybe come. But join us in the table. Be part of the family.
Page 74.
Okay. Okay, now we're continuing page 74. So basically we read 41, so let's go through, we'll continue, we'll begin from 42 and further on. All right, Mordechai, you want to read 42? Mordechai. No. Michael, sorry. You're right. That's why I mixed up. Sorry. Michael. Huh?
English or Hebrew?
No, English.
Kuzari said.
My apology. Yeah.
Kuzari said this level is for a divine angelic creature if it at all exists. This behavior belongs in the divine category, not in the human, animal, or organic category.
Yeah, but again, he still has doubt. Where he says if it all
exists.
Yeah, if. Okay, it says if such a category, such a say stage of life exists, I admit that it's beyond the human race category. Okay, 43.
The Rabbi said, "What I have described for you are some of the qualities of one of our prophets, Moshe. The other peoples have also accepted his prophecies. It was through Moshe that the Jewish nation learned of their divine role and realized that they have a God who deals with them according to his will, based on their behavior toward him. Moshe told the Jews things that were hidden from them, such as how the world was created and what mankind was like before the great flood. He told them how they were descended from Adam, how the flood occurred, and how the 70 nations of the world all descended from Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Yefet. He told them how the world developed different languages in connection with the Tower of Babel, where the different nations settled, how different crafts developed, and how countries grew. He chronicled for them the years from Adam to the present."
Okay. Let's go one sentence at a time with this paragraph. So since the Kuzari is doubting if such a human exists and such a level exists, so the rabbi answers him saying, listen, what I've described, okay, are only some of the qualities of Moshe Rabbeinu. Okay, the rest of the people, the other people, they all accepted his prophecies. Okay, so first of all, if you follow the Torah and you remember, what was the sign for the people, or for the elders and the wise people of Israel, that the Redeemer came, and it's time for redemption from Egypt? Okay, what was the sign? What was the signal? Okay, Moshe Rabbeinu he encounters Hashem, and Hashem encounters him. Okay, and reveals his will and tells him, you're chosen to take my people out of Egypt, right? And Moshe Rabbeinu was like, hey, why would they listen to me? What should I? How can I? What should I say? Who revealed himself to me? Who are you? What's your name? Right?
Is it like the God of forefathers, Avraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov?
What did he say? What does it say there in Shmot? You'll tell them my name is. Okay, Eheyeh Asher Yeh. What is Eheyeh Asher Yeh?
I will be, or I am that I am. It depends on the translation.
But, yeah.
I will be that I will be. Future tense.
Right. Okay, that, besides the deeper meanings and commentaries behind that name, the bottom line is, through Avraham Avinu, they inherited this code name, and they were told, okay, generation after generation, right, that the moment an individual, a messenger by Hashem, will come and bring this name, and it's a code name, it's a secret name that nobody can crack and figure out on his own, unless he received it through prophecy. So when such an individual will come with this name, you'll know. Okay? And on top of that, and in addition to that, he added all these miracles, these unnatural phenomena with the leprosy and the water transmitting to transmission to blood, and then right. But that is an addition. That is not the main main thing to convince them that he's the prophet and that Hashem revealed himself to him. Okay. And furthermore, it was through Moshe. Maybe somebody wants to go outside and tell him that we have a class here and he shouldn't speak under our window. People not realizing there's a classroom there. It was through Moshe that the Jewish nation learned of their divine role and realized that they have a God who deals with them according to His will, based on their behavior toward Him. Okay, so since when the moment that He revealed Himself through that code name, now they're listening. Now that they're listening, He can deliver the messages. Okay, one message is be aware. The creator of the universe, the God of Avraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, is now revealing His will to you. Okay, actively through me, meaning Moshe, and according to your behavior, there's going to be reward and punishment. And then he adds on top of that, Moshe told the Jews things that were hidden from them. Okay, which not only from them, basically from the whole human race. Okay, which is what? Such as how the world was created. Okay, no human being, no matter how smart he is and how sophisticated and I don't know, talented with scientific knowledge he is, no one can conclude altogether how the world was created. Okay, and until today, right, we have the different theories by science, rather the Big Bang, or which we can tolerate that and accept that, but then we have worse type of theories where the world was forever here. There was no creation, it's eternal. But either way, the moment that you're revealed by the Creator Himself, okay, the external source that created this whole thing, He reveals to you how it was created, what was done, how it was done. Okay, then there's no place for doubt anymore. It's clear. Okay, you don't have to figure out with your own calculations what happened and how. Okay, you received the clarity through this prophecy. Okay, and obviously this is important because later on we'll come into this discussion. How can you tell? How can you be certain that the world was created? And maybe the world was there forever, as the Greek philosophers claim. Okay, we'll get to that later, but over here already he wants to present to the king that, listen, we received through prophecy. Okay, it's not intellectual argument anymore that the world was created. Okay, and then he adds, he told them how they were descendant from Adam. Okay, so when you think about it through in Genesis, what it describes there, so there's a story of the creation of Adam and his descendants up to Noach, but then there's destruction of the world. So except Noach and his children, there are no witnesses anymore to describe and tell what happened in the previous world. Okay, because there's a new restart of the world, and what happened before. Okay, so Moshe Rabbeinu, with his prophecy, had the knowledge of what happened, what was before the flood. Okay, because after the flood, okay, whoever lived since then, he can tell, but what was before? Okay, and not only that, and this is already a hint for the continuation of what he's going, the discussion. He's able to track down from Adam every generation, every individual and every generation who came after and who came before. Okay, and when and basically why the 70 nations of the world were descended from Noach and Shem and Ham, and also why and when languages started to different and develop and spread. Okay, and then more technical things where the different nations were settled and their crafts and so on. Okay, but this is like a statement that he wants to, as a headline or a title, to open it up. Okay, and basically it is how we track down our history, how we track down the calendar, and what is the criterion for it? Because when you ask historians or professors of archaeology and geologists and whatever, and you ask them, okay, these traces here, how old are they? And what could be a common answer? How many years?
Between 40 and 450,000.
No, I'm saying archaeologists, not Jewish ones, or not Orthodox ones.
No, I studied archaeology.
Right.
And that's like their carbon dates are like so ridiculous.
I'm saying 4,000. You said 4,000 or 4 like million.
Like 40 and like 400,000. It's like between a range of like 40 and 400,000.
Mm-hmm.
For human remains, it'll say for like sediment and rocks and things, different, say millions.
Millions of years.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's what I was.
I see.
Yeah. Right.
That was an attempt at a joke.
Huh?
That was an attempt at a joke.
Okay, they'll suggest that, we're talking, we found a skeleton of a dinosaur. Okay? And it's 20 or 50 or I don't know how many million years old. How do you know? What do you mean by the carbon 14, right? But then, some scientists wanted to prove that it's so inaccurate. So they took garbage and then they dig it in a hole somewhere in the dirt. And they said, okay, let's dig here. Let's check. And they use the carbon 14. Yeah, this is like 2 million years ago. Really? Yeah. And they take out like a can of Coke and whatever. And, like so, yeah. But and you ask people, scientists, okay, how old is the world? What do you mean? It's 2 billion years, or it's 15 billion years, or it's millions of years. And what's your criterion? Carbon 14? I don't know what. Okay. Here, okay, the rabbi gives him the criterion. What is the criterion? Let's see if you can figure that out. But just from what we just read now,
44 to 47?
no, in 43. But okay, that's a question, an open question. Let's see now by the next, the following paragraphs. Okay, so 44.
Kuzari said, if you truly have an exact reckoning of the years from the time of creation, this too is amazing.
Okay, so he think that the criterion is what?
Oh, that it was forever.
No. It says creation, right? What do you say?
Right.
Okay. He says, if you have a reckoning of the years from time of creation, wow, that's awesome. Right? Okay, but what does a rabbi have to say about this?
We use this number in our calendars. No two Jews argue about this date, no matter where they dwell.
Okay, go on.
Kuzari asked, and what year is it now, according to you? The rabbi said, 4,500. The years are detailed in our Torah by chronicling the generations of man, starting from the time of Adam, his son Shet, and his son Enoch, and down to Noah.
Okay, so before we go on, what happened here? The king was certain, according to other religions and philosophers, that you count down since creation. What did the rabbi tell him here? He taught him here. Okay? You're wrong. The count does not begin from creation. When did, according to our Torah, when did creation begin?
3760 BCE.
No, I'm saying, and what day?
Oh, the sixth day.
No.
Creation of Adam.
Huh?
Creation of Adam.
No, the world.
The world.
If we know, right, we're going to celebrate soon. What? And Rosh Hashanah is what, according to our tradition? No, but what is it? Creation of what? The world?
No, actually, the world was created Chaf He Elul.
Thank you. Okay? Aleph Tishrei is what? Creation of? Adam. Right. So if Adam was created in Aleph Tishrei, when was the world created?
Chaf He Elul.
Okay.
I think makes sense. 7 days before.
Exactly.
6 days before.
Right. Okay, so the 25 of Elul is the beginning of creation of this planet, right? And then according to the 6 days, then 6th day is 1st of Tishrei. That's when Adam was created, right? You're with me? Okay. Now, what does the rabbi say? The criterion to count down the creation is not the creation of the earth, the plants, okay? Rather,
creation of Adam.
Adam.
The first name.
Why?
That's a big one.
Okay. Why does that make a difference? And what difference does it make?
Because the world was created for the purpose of mankind.
That's true, but how does that answer?
That's the time when counting dates becomes relevant. Or then it's who cares? Who cares? Plants and whatever and rocks, whatever.
Okay, very good. Any other ideas? When you're okay, so first of all, what Michael said is correct. Now, adding to it, sorry. What I want to say, the 1 second. Okay, there are a few points here. One, okay, is that when you're talking about creation of the world, you don't know how to relate to it. Okay, it's something theoretical, something abstract that you can argue this till the end of days, like when and what exactly happened, and okay, when and what time. When you're talking about man, that's something physical. That's something you can relate to and track down, because we have our history. But not only that, we have something even stronger than just history. We have prophecy. Okay, so, but people agree that when you track down your history and you have the chronicles in order, then you're able to track down until thousands of years before, right? You have books, you have scripts, you have other physical evidence that emphasize the reality and that those historical traditions are true. When we claim, okay, we have tefillin, and the tefillin is through the written and oral Torah, right? But then you find in archaeological sites, you find actually tefillin that track down to the warriors of Bar Kokhba, okay, which is during the time of after the destruction of the Second Temple. Okay, that's quite a long time, right? And you find out that those tefillin are similar to ours. To say,
I've seen pictures of those old tefillin they found.
Yeah,
it looks very similar to
right.
Bible,
No, I'm saying even they found
the scrolls.
The scrolls and what's written inside. Okay. Okay, so when you go back to man, you have something to relate to. Talking about creation, it's something abstract that there's nothing to rely on. So therefore, when he states here the date, okay, what's the year now according to you, and he answers him 4,500. That's 4,500 to what?
From creation of Adam.
Of Adam, okay. And we have the chronicling of generations from since then up to today. Okay, who delivered the Torah from every generation from Moshe Rabbeinu, but also before that, what happened? Okay, when are the years of Avraham, of Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and obviously even before that as well. But as Am Yisrael, we care from Avraham Avinu and so on. But it doesn't mean that we don't have the knowledge of what came before that. Okay, so now he's getting specific on the different generations. But if you would follow through the Torah, you would see that he is skipping different individuals. Okay, and there's also a reason for that. Okay. Let's see if you're going to figure this out. Okay, so he begins with Adam and his son Shet. Okay, so Okay, Cain and Evil are not mentioned, right? And then there's his grandson Enosh. And from Enosh down to Noah. Okay? Can open up in Bereshit if you want to track down to see all the names. Okay, but then Noah. Okay, so we know he had 3 sons, right? What were their name?
Shem, Ham, and Yafet.
Right. And who does he mention here? Only?
Shem.
Where did Ham and Ham and Yafet disappear? Okay, and then he mentions Ever. Right?
Which some say is where the term Ivri comes from.
Right. And then after Ever, then down to Avraham. Okay, but who is the father of Avraham?
Terah.
He doesn't mention him. Okay? So all these people that are not included, why? Why are they ignored?
So what I think the answer is because they didn't pass down the Torah, or they didn't teach it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And Shem, Evel, Noah, these were the only ones who actually taught Torah to their descendants.
Okay. Any other ideas? Okay. Okay, then down to Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Also, doesn't mention here no Ishmael and no Esav. Right? They're part of history, aren't they? Okay, it's like the history here is very subjective of what they want to deliver, and
maybe because these were the only ones who were Nevi'im, who had the revelation from Hashem.
So we call this in Hebrew Zgula. Okay, the potential, the gift, to be the chosen one by Hashem, to have that, or he mentions here in other words, he says, okay, and then down to Moshe. Here, listen carefully what he says. These people were the heart and elite of mankind. Okay, I'm reading a little bit more. Each had many children. Okay, and now he explains why he didn't mention. But the Torah does not list all of them by name. Most of these children were like the peel of a fruit, not attaining their father's level, okay, which is that zgula, which is that gift, since they did not possess the same divine qualities. Okay? The Torah therefore only chronicles those descendants who maintained this divine quality, who are considered the fruit. Okay, not the peel. Who were the minority of the individual's progeny. This was true. Okay, this clarification of who continues Hashem's will. There's this kind of clarification in history. Who will continue Hashem's will? Okay. I mean, there's Avraham. Okay, but Avraham has 2 kids. Does it go through the continuation through both of them? Yes or no? No. Then Yitzchak has 2 kids as well. Does it go through both of them? Yes or no? Okay, so this was true until Yaakov. Okay? But with Yaakov, all his descendants are the chosen one. Okay? Who fathered 12 tribes. Okay, and all of them are the fruit. All of them have the divine quality to continue Hashem's will. Unlike the previous pattern, Now each and every son was worthy of the divine quality. Okay, each one of them had this gula. Each one of them had the potential of continuing Hashem's will, prophecy, and Torah. Keep on reading. From there, it was in this
nation of 12 tribes that divinely settled, and this nation preserved the chronicling of mankind. In turn, we, their descendants, received this chronicling from Moshe, and we know the number of years from Moshe to the present.
Okay, so we answered therefore why it's important to distinguish creation of the world and creation of man, right? Right? Yes or no? And second, why he didn't mention all the individuals through history and only these people. It's clear?
This kind of begs the question, why does the Torah mention them if they weren't very relevant to...
They were up to extent, but it's not...
They were like, just because, for continuity maybe? Just like
to distinguish.
Yeah. Because even each one of them had, it says,
absolutely,
Banot, many children.
Right.
So like, even if they weren't Nevi'im, or even if they didn't have that skula, they were at least the one who gave birth to the one who would be.
Yeah, okay. Right. All right. 48.
Kuzari said, this detailed narration of chronicles in your Torah removes any suspicion of falsification or mass conspiracy. It would be impossible for even 10 people to conspire together about falsifying a date for the creation of the world to be passed on to their children without the collaboration ending in confusion. Eventually, the lie would be exposed. At the very least, anyone who would try to substantiate the lie would be disproved. And if this applies to just 10 people trying to pass on a date to their children, imagine how impossible it would be to proliferate a lie of this kind among an entire generation of people. Furthermore, the time frame involved is too recent for it to be believable. No such lie could succeed.
Okay. This answer is quite interesting and let's say surprising, because if you remember in the opening dialogue between the Kuzari king and the rabbi, he said, you can go back to page 66, okay, and paragraph 12, okay. And then Kuzari there was so disappointed of the rabbi's opening statement that he responded by saying, I was correct in my original resolve not to query a Jew, because I knew that the Jews have lost their connection to their past and have no depth of wisdom. Okay? And this is his reasoning. This is no doubt a result of their history of destitution and misery, which has left them without any positive characteristics. So what did he believe here about the Jews?
No wisdom and no connection to their history, which is completely the opposite.
Okay, they have no idea of their chronicles and their calendar, nothing. Okay, and all of a sudden here, he's so impressed with what the rabbi had to say. It's like he's now defending their system and saying, okay, this chronicle, this calendar that you have is so specific and detailed that, and since the whole nation accepts it, okay, there's no doubt, there's no disagreement among the nation that this is the date and this is the day and the calendar, that it's impossible that this is made up and there's a conspiracy here. Okay, and so he's so impressed that Okay, I accept. This must be true. Okay? So it's like he changed his mind. It's like, okay, I have a lot more respect to your system, to your calendar, and I never saw any calendar and chronicles that get even close to this from any nation or religion. Okay, if you remember when we discussed the Christian scholar and the Christian religion, and I don't know, maybe we didn't even come to talk about that. But even among the Christians, they have disagreements on the year that that the Jew was killed, okay, or born. Okay, if it's 0, if it's -2, -4, okay, or different traditions about this. So they're not able to come to consensus. If you want to live longer or be younger a little bit, then my advice is go to Ethiopia. You know why? Huh? According to the Christian count, what year is it today?
2022.
Right. If you go to Ethiopia, it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's around, it's 8 years early. Okay? It's like 2016 or something like that. Okay? Not because they're standing behind. It's rather, according to their count system, the rest of the world, Christian world, is wrong, and it should be now to 2016. So, okay, I'm just saying, if you want to feel younger, then.
21.
Okay, but just to emphasize the point that the fact that they cannot come to a consensus and accept the same countdown, the same history. Okay. So when you see one nation, even in their weakest time, okay, when they are in diaspora, they're spread all over the world. They are not together, and they still agree and accept the same calendar. That is impressive. Okay, that's impressive. Okay, Jews in Europe, Jews in the Middle East, Jews all over the world. You ask all of them, okay, without them knowing each other and coordinating between them in advance. You ask them, what is the year today, according to the Hebrew calendar? They'll all give you the same answer. Okay, so that's impressive. That's quite amazing. Okay, we'll stop here for today. So we'll continue with 49.